Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening. Good to have you here. Paul China here with the one and only Martha Bergmann.
Hello.
How you feeling today?
I'm feeling good, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Feeling good?
I am.
You got your super tall coffee over there?
Yeah,
I got
do.
my super tall coffee right here.
pretty
Sponsored by
awesome.
Phil's.
Yes.
Not really sponsored
Delicious,
by Phil's.
but no, great coffee.
It is really good. I'm kind of obsessed. But good to have everyone here. I don't know if it's morning, evening, whatever. Thanks for hanging out with us. Andrea, Valter, say hello to Martha, hailing from, where did you fly in from?
Cleveland, Ohio.
Cleveland, Ohio, in the house.
Yes.
Cleveland here. If anybody else is from Cleveland, love it if you said hello.
Yes.
But yes. Good morning, Simon. Good to have you here. We have a full day planned today. We had a full day yesterday and a super fun day tomorrow. And it's fun. I think today is such a fun day. Let's kind of dive into the schedule real fast. We have you for a couple hours as we kind of work on our National Parks app, which is going to be really fun.
Yes.
Fun seeing that progress. And then Christine Lee is going to be in at 11 with Talon. Rovani Durso is going to be working on an app for events. Selena Wu at the end of the day, 3 to 5. So just hang out with us all day. Be super fun. And some of the hosts are actually part of the XD team. So that's a perfect chance to, kind of ask them if they want to, ask them for features. We also have the daily challenges. So we're day 2. Yesterday, everybody did a fantastic job working on mobile app. Today is a web experience, okay? And just check out the challenge tab, and I'll talk about that. And tomorrow is portfolio reviews. So all of these challenges are really just a chance to, add things to your portfolio. Mm-hmm. And then on day 3, we'll go through and pick some and, highlight them for each segment, which is a new thing we've done. It's super fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's fun, huh?
Yeah,
you're gonna love it.
I'm excited.
It's really, it's amazing how much you can learn just by reviewing somebody else's portfolio. Mm-hmm. You're like, okay.
Yeah.
So, kind of get those ready. That is tomorrow. Today, we're just gonna have some fun giveaways. We have them right here, as you can see. We'll have some stickers and some pins and some notebooks, and then we have other things as we go along the week. Oh, look at this little pencil. Of course, it's branded. It says "Fail Faster."
Ooh, I love it.
I don't know. I think a Paul eraser would be like mostly eraser,
Yeah.
and then half pencil.
That would be really fun.
Right?
I think that would be good.
Why don't we make that mostly
that's a good
eraser
idea.
pencil for all the mistakes I make?
Yep.
But welcome, Max. Good to have you here. Just thank you for the warm welcomes, Chandra. We want to make this fun. Let's kind of dive into kind of maybe a recap of. Kind of the schedule that you have for your stuff. Do you happen to
I do.
have that handy?
I do.
Look at that. Yeah, let's check it out. So
Yeah.
essentially, we'll dive into,
What we have. So yesterday, went over some of the notes, the UX, looked at the sitemap, and we saw that you can move wireframes from Photoshop into XD, which is super cool. Looked at the color palette and typography, and we kind of just saw that kind of evolve as we went through.
Yeah, and a lot of that kind of came from, again, just like, thanks for everybody. Hopefully you could help us out, kind of like make recommendations, like what works and what doesn't work. I think it's good to have these set of eyes.
Oh, definitely.
These are our art directors.
Yes.
Like we have something called the hovering art director.
Yeah.
A little toy. I don't know. He's probably in here somewhere. But that's what everybody else's job is. Like, feel free to chime in on what looks good and doesn't. We've gotten some fun taglines that have kind of been brought into the experience.
Some bear puns too, so that's been fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, yesterday we
They're unbearable.
Yes. So yesterday we did the UI for the homepage, and we did the desktop version. And then, so we're going to start off the day kind of reviewing that work. I actually went ahead and I took that desktop version and I did a mobile version of it, and then got started on a desktop version of another page. And we're going to be looking at how do you take a desktop version into mobile, and then, working on prototyping.
That sounds good. No, this is good. Like covering all the bases, if you will. So, Sadhaya, hopefully that works for you. Good having you here. Good morning. So let's check out what we have today. Day 3 is going to be really fun too, but we'll talk about that later.
Yes, yeah.
That's going to be really fun.
Yeah, that'll
we
be
have
fun.
Another little plan.
Yes, we're thinking of some things that'll be nice to have. So, awesome.
Yeah,
So we're just going to dive right into it.
Yeah, let's take a look. I do want to point out, and just give me 1 second as I license an image for your project. But just to kind of point out so everybody can see this, it's going to be very meta for a sec. But right over here, chat, we always have this info tab, so just you can always give Martha a follow and kind of read her little bio. And then here's where the challenge is. I'll kind of dive into that in a little bit, but that's kind of what's happening, and you can read about that. But anyways, just kind of like, I wanted to point this out really fast, okay? So again, I'm just your hype man. You know, you're working at Progressive, you're working on for a very large company that gets lots of eyeballs and lots of data and UX kind of around kind of what you're developing. And it's cool seeing your portfolio in here. So kind of check out her work. Here's one, Spaced. Very nice.
Yeah, thank you.
It's kind of, we kind of went through some of this yesterday too, like kind of going through and picking the font.
Yep.
And then the color.
Working on the color for sure.
And I think this is cool right here. You were featured.
It was.
So this is important as well. John and Alistair and everyone. You can create a project, even if it's a fake project, like a daily challenge. Like, spend some time on it. You can literally spend all day on it. Put it in your portfolio. Tag it with XD, because you got featured in XD, right?
I did, yeah.
Yeah,
Which
so just
cool.
Make sure you upload that project, tag it with everything that you made it with, and then you can get featured, and then you get these fun little tags and lots of eyeballs, that sort of thing. So just something fun to do for everyone. So I'm going to switch back to you.
Sounds good. So just to recap, this is where we actually ended off yesterday. So I hadn't really dived into refining the color for the text. We still had this like bright image, and we looked at having like the activities and the bear.
It got updated.
It did, yeah, it did. And even though I'm gonna make you sad because I did update it a little bit, I refined it. So before
no, it's good.
I'm sorry. Before I had like photos from different seasons, and I thought it would be really interesting to focus on like Yellowstone in like one season. So you could look at like if you were planning a trip in the spring, which is basically winter in Yellowstone. So I took from this and I refined a little bit further. Introduced some other colors, updated the photos to, focus on like Old Faithful, which would be really nice to see in the spring. You don't have to worry about crowds as much, which is why it's good to go in the off season. And talked a little bit about that. And activities, shockingly, biking is still pretty popular in Yellowstone in the spring. So focused on that and guided tours, especially since some of the roads are closed. You could ride like snowmobiles around. And then, focus on grizzly bears as well, and then the activities. The other thing that I thought would be really interesting is to have like visitor recommendations, so reviews of people who have gone there and what they've experienced, and if they could aggregate these from different sources. So it's frustrating sometimes when you're planning a trip. A lot of times you read reviews. It's just like when you go out to a restaurant and you want to see something good, you're usually like kind of drawn to the reviews. Like you want to see what other people think. Yeah. So how nice would it be if it pulled things from like TripAdvisor and even other like national park websites into like one location.
Good. So and that's what you have, like sort of like the latest or whatever, recommendation right there for carrying bear spray.
Yep,
which we already started naming yesterday.
We did.
So far we have Sauvage.
I love Sauvage. It's good.
Sauvage bear spray. It's like cologne for bears, but not.
Yeah. I want to know what the branding for that would look like. It could be pretty cool.
I think the V would have to have like, it looks like you tore at a piece of paper.
Oh, I love that.
Like the V could be like, or something like that.
Yeah, I love that. And then I added like a bottom section of, what Yellowstone would look like in autumn. So then you could look at a more specific page focused on autumn too.
Yes.
So that's where I landed. Went ahead and I did a mobile version as well. So just took what I had in desktop, refined things, adjusted the font size a little bit, and move through that. And one thing to consider, I have this as like a little note for myself. It's really good to be referencing your touch point, because you want to make sure you don't have things that are too close together, because you don't want to accidentally have the user tap something when they mean to tap something else. Yeah. And you want to make sure it's clickable. And I think the good rule of thumb is making sure the area is 44 pixels tall and wide. So when I was considering like all of my buttons, those are 44 pixels tall. making sure like the touch points here would be 44 pixels and whatnot. So that's just how it kind of translates into the mobile version.
I like it. And can you hand me that GoPro?
Yes.
Could we? Maybe we even kind of check this out. So again, this is like, so Martha did some homework, by the way. So that's kind of what happened. We
Yes.
developed the home page, and then she dove into the mobile page to a certain degree.
Yep.
And just because you mentioned sort of touch point sizes and
Yes.
different things, we can just take a look at this real fast. And again, this is the app on your phone.
And then you can scroll through it.
Super easy. So there's your, like, there's a button size and everything.
Yeah, and you can see like, that's like a decent size.
Yeah. We'll talk in a little bit how to get this on your phone, which is just really easy, but just to show, like, you made that note, and then we can kind of experience it on the phone, which I think was really good.
Yeah.
So hopefully you like that, Sissay and John. I love Adobe Comp, by the way. John Klugers mentions Adobe Comp. Adobe Comp allows you to create a layout on a mobile device. If you did an X, it would put in a box as if a picture is supposed to go there.
Oh, that's
If you
nice.
scribbled lines, it would say, oh, you want paragraph text. Here's some paragraph
Oh,
text.
that's really cool.
And it allows you to sort of like quickly mock up a layout and then send it to InDesign, Illustrator, and Photoshop.
Wow.
Like any one you want. And it's amazing. And I'm like, why don't we talk about this more?
Yeah, that's
It's
cool.
so sweet.
I love that.
So super powerful. And thank you, Gabriella. So basically, what app did you use to get this on your phone, by the way?
Oh, just use Adobe XD. They have an app that you can download on the App Store, and it connects and syncs with your desktop app and works really well.
Into it. Super easy. So yeah. Hopefully everybody likes that. There's lots of Adobe like mobile apps, just so everyone knows. So anyway, we used to have a lot more, but this is looking good.
Yeah. So
It's like that bear needs a towel.
yeah,
Is he all wet?
He is wet. So I thought it would be cool to kind of do a more refined version of another page. So this is the desktop version of getting to a grizzly bear specific page. And today we're going to do the mobile version so that everyone can see how that process works.
How did you create that artboard? Like, what if you wanted to create a second mobile artboard? What would you do? Like, how do you?
Yes, go over here, and then there are a whole bunch of predefined artboard sizes, which is nice. So like working on iPhone X, I put this as iPhone 7 Plus because that's what I have, so that we can preview it and it looks bright. One other thing that is also, good tip is to start sometimes with your designs with the smallest phone size. So you might want to start with like an iPhone 5 just to make sure your design like holds up really well. And then you might want to showcase like an iPhone 10. Like you might want to have that in your portfolio because that's like the most current and updated. So it's like a good thing to consider, and it's all very easy to find the sizes here.
And interested if you're new to XD. So if you're new to XD this week, I did see somebody say that they were new to XD, so we want to just make sure we cover everything. So if you just click on one of those, what happens? If you clicked on a profile, like...
Yeah, even if I click on iPad,
boom, there
it's
it
just
is.
right
Okay,
there, and you
gotcha.
can just, you can do watch,
And
phone,
it's fun.
iPad.
These are basically like, it's as if you have a rectangle.
Yes.
That's the equivalent of, you can like do everything that you need to. You can move it around as if it's just a rectangle in Illustrator, for instance.
Yes.
And then you can, if you delete that one, if you select that one, can you duplicate that one?
Easily. Yep.
Boom.
You just copy
So
and
Command
paste
D,
it.
boom.
Yep.
So, and the copying I love from artboard to artboard.
Oh yes. Yeah, this is awesome. This makes it so easy to go from one, screen size to another. So we can look at just, copy that. And then what you do is you select the artboard, you copy it, you make sure you select the other artboard where you want it, and then you paste it and it'll put it in the same exact location.
Yeah.
So this is super important
huge.
to keep like continuity as you're going from one size to another.
And I will say that anytime you find yourself like duplicating items, think about like, should I actually make that a symbol first?
Oh yeah.
And then, so if you, and I do that all the time, by the way. I just duplicate and then I realize I should make this a symbol and have it all tied together and then go from there. So that's always an option that we'll get into. Cheers, folks.
Yes.
Yes.
It's super easy.
Let's dive into this. We're barely getting started.
Exactly.
B-E-A-R.
B-E-A-R, yeah. So here
Anytime we say barely, we mean B-E-A-R today.
Yes. Oh yeah. It's all about the puns right now.
Yeah.
And then another thing that I like to do, so the font sizes actually change from from mobile to desktop. So my little trick is, if I know that this paragraph, I might want to copy it from something I've already resized. That sometimes it's easier. I don't know. There's probably an easier flow to do that. So if it's like, if I wanted to, put these two in here, move it over here, and I'll resize that in a minute. I might take this paragraph that I've already figured out, paste it into here. There's probably easier ways to do this. And then I'll just copy this text. And when you paste this text into here, it's going to be the same exact style as this one in here. So
Cool.
It's just a nice little get around. I'm sure like you probably can use like the assets and stuff, but that's always how I've worked. And
Whatever works.
yeah.
Alistair, I don't know of any mock-ups for XD, asking if, sort of showing an iPhone screen. I do know that when you send out a prototype to your client and view that on the phone, it gets rid of all the Chrome and everything around it. So, yeah.
Which is really nice. And you could always like pull in a transparent PNG if you really wanted to see it with like the iPhone, and then have just like the middle be transparent if that's something that you wanted to see. So.
Man, Michelle, good to have you here. Welcome. So again, the difference between Muse and Dreamweaver for programming. So that's a whole other thing, because essentially, and just kind of step back, we can talk about Muse at a higher level. Because really, actually, what are you traditionally used to using? Do you use like Illustrator or like Photoshop or like what?
For building digital?
Yeah.
I started with Photoshop, and now it's all XD.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, basically. I tried Adobe Muse a little bit, but
yeah, and it's
nice.
whatever works for you. But essentially, so it allows you to design as if you're designing in Photoshop, just simpler. It's doing vector, and then you can import raster elements. Oh, and what you did yesterday, I loved that you just take that PSD.
Yep.
So if you have a PSD, by the way, file open, PSD, done. Everything comes in layers, and then you can continue to add to it, and then prototype it. So you're creating this interactive prototype just to work out the workflow and really all that functionality. And then you go into the development phase. So then you give all the graphics to the developer.
Yep.
And then they basically program it. So that's how that goes.
Yeah, which is really nice.
So yeah, that is pretty cool. So super easy to use. Muse allows you to create websites without writing any code. Dreamweaver will do the coding, and you can have the design and all that fun stuff. But this, it doesn't generate any code, which means you still get to be friends with the developer.
Yeah, which is good.
Because if you gave the developer a bunch of like computer generated code, they'd be like, I'm not working with this. Like, it's just kind of hard. If you've ever done it, it's like, yeah, no, I don't. Let me just recreate everything. Yazoo's asking how you order pizza in Adobe Illustrator. Inside joke. I don't know if you saw that.
I did, actually. I did see the pizza thing.
So it's for the April release of Illustrator, we have a new panel that will allow you to draw. You could draw whatever food item you want, drag it into this panel, and it will map to a restaurant in your area, and then they'll send you pizza, for instance.
Which is really cool.
Yeah, so we released that video on April 1st. Hint, hint.
Sweet. Yep, so I'm just moving this, and you can kind of see, like, just copying and pasting. It's really nice, super simple. Just making sure, I have everything fitting in fine. Changing some things around a little bit.
We got Gabriella yesterday. She's like, that pizza thing totally got her yesterday. Yeah, we got ya.
I love it.
We got ya. Haha. Adobe Sensei. That's what we call our AI, like machine learning.
Oh.
It's the magic.
I love that.
It's amazing. Like, there's things out there that we're working on that would just blow your mind. So, even things today, as a Photoshop user, I might even have to jump in and do one. I have a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should do that.
So, Javier's asking if did you create 2 different size canvases?
For between these two?
Yeah.
Yes, I did. Yeah, so this one is the iPhone 7 Plus size, just because I have it on my phone, so it's a little easier for me to view it. And then this is just the desktop web version. So yeah, it's good to work with that. And
Yeah, move on along.
I am getting ready to do the reviews.
I feel like this part is where you just kind of like, you're just listening to music. Like,
Yes.
If you were
Yeah.
at work, you're
Yes. This is where it's really good to listen to, because it's kind of nice. Like, it's, it's fairly straightforward. And so here's one unique situation. This is going to take a little bit of thinking. So this is one where I might pause my music, depending on how much I have to think through it. But so I had in here, I like the idea of kind of like Reddit having a way to like upvote certain people's recommendations. Like, if you find that they're true or accurate, helps to keep like, things credible. But if I try to do this, like, this is way too narrow. Like, this is not going to look good. It's not readable. You only have like three lines. So I'm going to have to figure out another way to kind of make this fit in the container. So I have to make this wider.
Yep.
So I'm going to have to change it a little bit from what the desktop version looks like. And then I have this little tag over here to show like where this review is coming from. Like, this was coming from TripAdvisor.
And then even the size of that, because you might limit it to a certain number of characters and then have like a sort of like a more or something button.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah. So I'm
Make sure.
thinking maybe we do some sort of like top section where we have the upvoting, and then we just have the person who wrote it to put the information. And I've made sure to put, if a user fills it out, it'd be nice to say when they visited. So that kind of helps add context while we're focusing on seasons, because things can change so much depending on when you go.
I almost would think that the upvote feature would be below it.
Yeah.
Is it? Like, after you read it, do you...
Yeah, do we want
Reddit.
to put it like right down here? Yeah, Reddit on Reddit.
Adobe Live's asking if anybody's working on their challenge entry.
Ooh,
We can talk about that.
yeah, I don't know.
Because you're working on that. You're gonna kind of get that laid out.
Yeah,
That's
yep,
cool.
go for it.
Yeah, I'll just kind of give everyone a quick preview. So the first 2 days we have daily challenges, which essentially means we have a theme, and from that theme you'd make what you need to. So let's check this out. Right over here, you can see you're hopefully in the chat pod right here where everybody's saying things. Martha, challenge right here. Let's check this out. It's right down here. Even a little visual example. But we invite you to create and share a 3-screen web experience for sort of like a pet social like play date, which sounds adorable.
That sounds really fun. I love that.
Right? So where your pet can meet up with somebody else's pet for a play date. But get creative with it. Super fun. You only need 3 screens. You have a larger sort of canvas to work with because we're talking about web. We're going to say, hey, use this UI kit as well. And I'll show you that because it happens to be right here. You can see all these various screens. So feel free to swap out of a lot of this. In fact, right over here, if I open up the Assets panel, let's check this. If you're not familiar with the Assets panel, you should be. And I'll kind of move this up so everybody can see it on the stream. Right down here, this little button, opens up the Assets panel, and it gives me all these colors. So what I can do is I can right-click on this sort of washed out, like purple color, select Edit, and this is a global, this is like the global color changer, if you will. So this is a global color. I can change that to red. A little pro tip for you, and that works for everything in the Assets panel. So that's your challenge today, and have at it. Don't forget, just upload it to this bit.ly right here, and don't forget to just like, you can give it the app a name, but put your name in there so I can like, we can call you out and make sure you get the credit that you deserve. And that's gonna happen in about an hour, right? That's what's happening in an hour. And by the way, you'll see this little clock right over here. We're gonna just have a random giveaway right over there in about 3 minutes, just because we can. So hopefully that works for you, Jim and Mark and Ennis. Good to have you back. Nathan, awesome. Laura, awesome. So that's the plan.
Sounds good.
Switching back. Martha's, she's just at work. She's
I
got on her
am.
headphones.
Yep, just going through.
She's bobbing her head.
I am.
Even though she's not listening to any music.
I'm just imagining it right now.
She just doesn't want other people to bother her, so she has on her headphones and no music's playing.
No, I have done that before. I feel like sometimes I need silence and you just don't want to be interrupted.
Yeah, agreed.
But obviously, I'm
sometimes
fine now. You can interrupt me now. It's okay.
Yes. Oh, yeah. And sometimes you just forget. You're like, oh, yeah, I guess I haven't been listening to music for 45 minutes.
Yeah, you're like, oh, wait, it actually just turned off. Time flies when you're designing.
Yeah, Satya mentioned socks. If anybody was wondering about that, we did some fun sock giveaway. Brand new Adobe XD socks, by the way. They have a brand new design. Today we have cool sketch notebooks, pins, all sorts of things. More stuff tomorrow. And if you're new, feel free to use that keyboard. Be like, hey, what's up? We want to give you a warm welcome, especially if you're new to XD. You get to see it live here and just to see how a designer works, because this is our life. Is moving things around.
Moving things around and copying and running into problems like this. Like, okay, you know, I was thinking this is coming from TripAdvisor. Well, that's simple. You always have to consider the worst case scenario. So that one's going to be a little bit hard. So we'd think about, you know, how do we want to break it to 2 lines? It's hard because it's like a web URL.
But it's so thin, like,
yeah.
It's okay if it's on its own separate thing, but you're the designer.
Do you mean like moving under here, or
yeah, like right there?
Like here.
I think it looks good there.
But I don't know. This feels awkward right here. Like I cannot figure out a good place to put like the upvoting feature. It just doesn't. It just doesn't drive with anything.
Yeah. It worked so well there.
Yeah. It
right
worked,
next to it.
Yeah, and like it works fine here. I think that works. It's one of the many problems.
Well, here's the thing though, like, because honestly, like you'd want to read, like, is it maybe reveal itself when you go into read more?
Oh, maybe. Yes, these are more of like the snippets of it.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
On mobile,
actually.
it's a snippet.
Yep.
Oh, welcome, Gina. First time new here and new to XD. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll do a little cheers to you.
Yes.
Cheers. Martha's not allowed to drink coffee yet because she'll get way too hyper.
Exactly. I'll start bouncing off
the
walls.
2-hour stream will be done in about 45 minutes. Like, we got another 45 minutes and, you know, hour 15 to cover.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, so I'm going to just take this off here.
Gabriella says that she thinks it just needs to be much smaller. But I like it. Feels cleaner here. Maybe this works.
Oh, the national park thing needs to be smaller?
Or
the
I think she was talking about
upvoting. Yeah, so I think...
But it looks clean like that. You could just leave it like that for now. And
because I think it is something where we can have like a more specific overview. This is just kind of giving you a touch of things.
By the way, people are also mentioning, other apps had updates. We had Adobe XD had an update yesterday morning, and so did Lightroom, and Dimension did, and Dimensions. I'm second guessing how I pronounce that right now. Dimension. Dimensions is something different. But Oh yes, hello from LA. Sunday, good to have you here. Let's do this. You see the countdown is at 000.
Ooh, we're ready for the giveaway.
Let's do it. Why not?
Yeah, let's see.
So feel free to say hello in the chat. Be like, what's up? I want a notebook. Give me free stuff. Just be active in the chat right now, because I think that's what we're gonna do. Get a little hype.
Nice. I love that pin.
In the. Oh, we disappeared a little bit on the full screen.
Yep.
But what we have here is, sorry about that. We have this lovely notebook right here, sketchbook. In fact, it's fully lined. I'm going to take this off. This would actually go really good with what you have on.
It is, yeah.
You have the nice black. You're so designery today.
I know, right?
You're such a hip designer. I'm like a designer that has a business meeting.
Yes.
That's how I'm dressed.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I still have the black. But yeah, so this is nice. This is all lined, by the way. I just kind of want to open it up. It's all lined and glorious.
Grid paper. That's
the grid paper.
That's really nice.
And then there's some like the meaning of life is in here, and answers to all your like any problem you have is actually in this notebook. So I do hope you win it, and all you have to do to enter is to chat in Behance. A nice pin with the new logo, and then the fancy sticker, which can go anywhere.
Yeah, just put it on your head.
So,
It's good.
Why do I do that? I'm so embarrassing. I'm so embarrassing to be around. But all this could be yours. Just be active in chat. The Adobe Live team will go through and pick a winner. They will kind of dive into that. And again, you can see these kind of full screen. Glorious. Aside from my grubby little hands all over it. But again, it has a locking mechanism. You lock it into place, secure. Not only that, this could store things. Fully functional.
Yes.
Store stuff. Multifunctional notebook, including a little pin that could either be XD or PX, depending on which way you want to rotate it. So that is 42 is the answer to everything. Tima, I hope that gets you these fun prizes. And Adobe Live team is drawing that name right now. And the winner is...
Laura Hartford.
Laura
Congrats.
Hartford. Congratulations, Laura Hartford. You are the proud owner of a fancy notebook.
Super fancy.
Sticker.
I love it.
Pin. There's too many things.
Yeah.
I ran out of hands.
No, it's good though. That pen is beautiful. I really love that.
The pen is nice quality.
Yes.
Yeah. So hopefully,
Super
Laura,
exciting.
hopefully your name comes through in the chat. We just want to know that you heard us, and we'll contact you through Behance. Awesome. Giveaways for each guest. They're going to give away stuff essentially, and we still have the contest. So that's your chance to win. I didn't even tell you what you can win. Basically, you can win Creative Cloud for a year. So, yeah. In the end, we're just trying to get people just make stuff.
Yeah,
you know,
just
people are
keep
so afraid of and that's why I appreciate you coming on the stream. Like, you're like, yeah, I'll go ahead and I'll make some stuff. Yeah, I'll probably mess up on this. I'll probably pick some wrong.
Gradient.
You do something, but we're gonna learn.
Exactly. Yeah, you're never gonna learn unless you try.
Yeah. But this is looking good. Some of these images have a watermark on them.
They do. Do you want to update these?
I probably need to.
So let's.
Where do those watermarks come from?
Adobe stock.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's nice just using a Creative Cloud library, pulling. I even pulled in like profile pictures that I used for recommendations. Ooh,
I
yes.
licensed
love that. I'm
one.
excited for this one. So do I just drag and drop it in?
Oh, Felicia asks a good question. Should you use the photos provided in the UI kit or your own? Personally, I think the more changes you make, the better.
Yes.
So I would say use your own if you could. Felicia, I don't know if you have a little kitty, if you have a cat or a dog or what. I don't know, a sugar glider, whatever it is. Maybe you could schedule a play date with like a lion and a golden retriever.
Oh, that would be cool.
You know how they have those videos of the two uncommon pet friends. So that would be really sweet. So
I'm trying to figure out how do I do this? How do I update it? It's not.
It might be because you made some changes to it or something. I'm not sure. But if you drag it in, does it still have the watermark?
It does.
Oh, it does. So Yeah, I don't know what's up with that.
difficulties.
That's my fault.
That's all right.
And I apologize. I'm really sorry.
It's all good.
Scrolling down though, what we've also done is you don't have to use necessarily Adobe stock images. I know some of them aren't. I know we're kind of working on some of these, but these could be any images that you've dropped into the Creative Cloud library. And just so everyone knows, we're also sharing this library. So as I take a look, also, like I could be working in Photoshop and work on some of these assets, and that's what I need to do.
Yeah, which is cool.
I
And I
can't
can just pull them in.
Yeah, I can't just sit here. I got work to do too. We're all working.
It's a team effort, right? It is. Awesome. So yeah, went ahead and so this is what we have for the mobile version between the two.
Yeah, I kind of want to see. Is that working, or I kind of want to see those two images stacked. It's weird how there's that little gap.
I know. I was like, I kind of wanted it to be overlapping like that. So we're thinking more of like one under the other.
Yeah, and then or eliminating one.
I'm almost thinking that might be simpler. Just to,
or is it underneath or something? Because now what you have is you have all this text.
Yeah. So what if we? So we're just gonna. I like that idea. So this is associated with this. So I'm just gonna move this up. Find out where I just dropped that image. It disappeared.
Okay, so this is a good. I'm glad you're bringing that up. Select that artboard.
Yes.
And even select, so you can select anything there, and then go to your layers panel. Because your layers panel, see how that says pasteboard?
Yes.
Select that. See what happens. I don't even know. Oh, my bad. That's my bad. So basically, what I'm showing you is like if it's these, the layers panel is like context sensitive. So that's if it's on your pasteboard, like this is all the stuff that's outside of an artboard.
Oh, I see.
But this could be anywhere.
Yep.
But you should still be able to see it. Anytime something is like hidden like that, it's either going to be on your, if it's hidden, it's actually on an artboard, but maybe a corner of it's showing.
Yes.
Or behind other layers.
Yep.
So
it's one of those on here. And I just do.
Alistair's puns are irrelevant.
Oh, that's good. I love that.
We are open to all puns and dad jokes.
Yes, he does. It just keeps disappearing. It's funny. So yeah, because it's connected to that.
You got to shrink it. You definitely got to make it smaller.
Yeah, so I'll just do this. Throw that in there.
But the moment you see that it's so send it. You have something in front of. Is that white?
No, it's. I don't think so. That's bizarre.
I'm getting all annoyed.
I am. I don't know why. Yeah, because
copy it over again. We got to figure this out.
Yeah, so I'm gonna copy it. Gonna make it smaller. Make it really tiny. It's weird.
And then again, click on that text. Let's look over here.
Mask group.
You can select it and it should highlight it.
Nope, it's that one. Okay, I'm gonna try it one more time. I keep undoing it after because it's not. Okay, we're gonna do this. So this is mask group. Whoa. Oh. So.
You maybe had a mask?
I did.
It's inside of that mask. Okay.
That's over here in this
That's
artboard.
over there.
That's probably what's happening.
We're learning.
I am. We are. We're figuring this out.
Did that make sense? Kind of what's happening, Mark? I don't know. Jan Eric? Yeah. So you were actually inside of that masked element, and you were copying it, and you were just pasting it to this part, but it was still using this mask.
I guess so, yeah. That's why that's why it keeps disappearing. Yeah, so I guess that means I should copy the actual. I'm going to copy, and once I copy this actual image, I don't know what's going on.
Oh, good.
It's weird.
Wait, no, it still works.
It does.
Like, you want to fix it? Yeah. You need to just select the whole thing.
This whole thing right here.
Yeah. Don't double click. Just select the whole thing.
That's what I was doing the whole time. This is so funny. Oh, there it is. Okay, we're good. We're all good. We figured it out.
But check it
Technical
out,
difficulties.
Andrew Clark, same thing happened to
Oh.
him. So,
Interesting. So yeah, maybe it's just a,
but I think
learning
that's
experience.
troubleshooting, and it kind of what helped us out there is looking at the layers panel.
Yes, which is so
Discovering-
nice to know that is there.
There was actually a debate for a while when we first had XD, when it was like in pre-release. Everybody was like, it needs a layer panel,
Yes.
and there was kind of a debate around that.
Really? Some hesitation?
Yeah, because a lot of people like don't use the layers panel. Like, so if you're working in Illustrator, a lot of people who work in Illustrator, I shouldn't say a lot. There are people that work in Illustrator that don't use the layers panel. Like, they just move things forward and back.
Yes, I think that's what I do.
You know?
Yeah.
But like this has always been my my sort of recommendation for having a layers panel, because it helps you find and locate things.
Yes, which is really nice to have.
So.
Sweet. So there it is. We switched it out, put this image down below. So it just shows that things do look different between desktop and mobile, and that's sometimes what happens.
Yeah.
So.
And this is going to be really fun as you work on this.
Yes.
We'll check this out. Do you have to use any of the UI kit? Yeah, so for the challenge, the idea is that you would use the UI kit. The short of it is like, you honestly don't have to. Like, basically what we're saying is like, here's an easy way to get started. But like I said to Felicia, like, yeah, replace all that. So I don't really want it looking like the UI kit, because that just shows the amount of work that you put into.
Yep.
And plus it's gonna make yours look different from any of the others. So you don't have to use the UI kit. It's there to help you. So. Hey, Nathan Galloway's like, I refused to use the XD when it didn't have a layers panel.
Oh, that's funny.
Amen, brother. Yeah. Like, I was very much on the same page. I'm like, wait a minute. So, yeah, it's looking good. And done.
Yeah.
Are
There
you
it is.
really?
Yeah, it's done. So here.
Let's talk about this. Let's kind of review this a little bit. Shall
we?
we?
Can do that. That sounds good.
We have different bears.
Yep.
Super cool.
Yeah, so I guess to talk about the overall page, kind of had an introduction. Also went through like the best times to see grizzly bears. This is something I think like we could follow up on, like, like I could see some improvements to this. It would be interesting to have some sort of like infographics of some sort to kind of, break this up a little bit.
Yeah.
But for now I just have like a pull quote kind of breaks up this content.
That's a good point, because best time to see grizzly bears might be some sort of graph over the course of a year.
Yeah, like some
Okay.
sort of like peak time. So that could be something really interesting to put in there. And then just talking too about when you see them. So actually, like, grizzly bears used to be around. And like, I think when my mom went to Yellowstone, they were able to like feed them from their car.
What's the difference between, like, so a black bear and a grizzly bear? Like,
Yes.
black bears are smaller?
They are. Black bears are smaller and they're not as aggressive. So, like, if you encounter a black bear, obviously it's still not the best thing in the world, but they are way less aggressive and territorial compared to a grizzly bear. And, like, I kind of pulled this out, too, just because they are often mistaken, because black bears can look like cinnamon colored. They're like cinnamon black bears, so they're brown.
Okay.
So then
Okay.
people think, oh, well, that must be a grizzly since it's brown. But the main difference is in their face. So this has, a dished face, and then black bears kind of have like more of like a concave face. And then the biggest difference is like their shoulders.
Really?
So a grizzly bear has a really pronounced shoulder, and black bears don't quite as much.
Okay.
And they're just different in size. Black bears are usually a lot smaller. So
Nathan says the difference is in how fast you get ate.
yeah, exactly.
How fast they eat you. I don't know. Like,
Yep.
But yeah. And honestly, the time of year, because and again, I know you're definitely more of an expert than I am, but like certain time of years, like you might have a small grizzly bear that looks like a black bear.
Yes.
Because it's just
It's a
basically like
baby.
a teenager or
Yes,
something.
exactly. So it might not be as pronounced.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very true. Yep, so works
So,
into that.
Andrea saw a black bear in Shenandoah, and it kind of grumbled and ran away.
Yeah, I think like black bears are sometimes can be scared away easier. I mean, they can be afraid of you too. But that's really cool. Actually going to Shenandoah in a few months. So
Really?
Yeah, going in August. So
Shenandoah. Where's Shenandoah?
it's over on the east coast kind of area.
Oh,
It's in I
okay.
think Virginia, I want to say.
Okay. Nice. So they have bears, black bears there. They have them in Colorado. I'm from Colorado. My brother has footage of bears, attacking their campsite. Not really, but just like going through all their food. You know how they do?
Yes.
And then they're in the camper, just watching the bear go through their stuff.
You're like, oh no. Yeah, we actually had bear boxes when we were in Yellowstone. You had to put all of your food in.
Okay.
And the worst part was you could see like claw marks on the sides of the bear boxes. So that was a little unnerving, camping in a campground next to a bear box. So
Frederick has bears where he lives in Maine too. So definitely like a North America thing.
Yeah.
So awesome. Well, that's I like what you did here too. By the way, just kind of scroll up because I think this is really smart. Like for this text, the length of that text. Why didn't you go all the way across?
Oh, yeah. So I didn't want to go all the way across because once the text gets too long, it's too hard to read. It's really hard. It kind of fatigues a user to read all the way there because you have to find the beginning of the next line. So like, usually you try to look for like kind of a medium balance. You don't want it to span the entire width. So.
And you're kind of like eyeballing it. There's maybe no hard and fast rule. People might throw hard and fast rules at you. I've often heard that sort of the length of, say, a dollar bill, for instance, like a US dollar bill, might be a good size, but this feels perfect for the page.
Yep.
Like, again, too long a text is not good. So, yeah.
It's overwhelming.
Welcome, David. David Samuels in the house.
Sweet.
From Nigeria. We can begin now, David. We've been waiting for you. We can just start from the top now. We can begin.
Yes.
I wonder. I'm always curious as to what wildlife's in, like, say, the Netherlands or wherever you're from. Like, again, in Nigeria. Like, what do you have to watch out for, And get inspired. Throw all that inspiration at the challenge that you're working on.
Yeah.
Because maybe you do have a pet lion, and he's looking for a golden retriever buddy.
I mean, it could be. Or, cheetahs often have labs. Like companion labs.
Oh.
So when they raise cheetahs in the zoo, they have like labs that accompany them. So then they get like more comfortable, and they're kind of like almost like a therapy animal for the cheetahs.
Oh.
So there are some instances there. So
yes. No, that's good. And let's face it, like anybody who has an animal can probably say, like, do you have any pets?
I do. Yeah.
Okay.
German Shepherd.
German Shepherd. Smart dog, as they say.
Yes. Yep.
But they're therapeutic. I think everybody would be happier if they had like a dog in their life, or like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yes.
That's what I want. I want to be the pet play date.
Oh yeah.
I want to be able to meet up with a golden retriever, like a German Shepherd, or and we're getting off subject. We'll get back to working, but like Uber actually would do promos here in San Francisco. They used to have Uber kittens, and it was just a random promo on this certain day. They'd be like, "Hey, we'll come by as long as you have an enclosed space. We're gonna bring by some kittens, and you can play with them for like 15 minutes."
It's adorable.
And tell me how much of a better world that would be.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic.
If you got to play with kittens every morning.
You so much happier. And I was really happy this past weekend just going to Dolores Park and just seeing all of the dogs that people had out.
Okay.
It was just delightful.
Yeah.
Just seeing everyone.
And, like, you can't be mad.
Fun. No.
You have a dog, you can't be mad.
No,
How you
just
be
love
mad?
them.
Venomous snakes, sure, in your area.
Ooh,
watch out.
Yeah. That's a good one too.
So, all right. Red panda?
Oh.
Stephen Bloodget? Oh, yeah. Red panda's super cute. Like a baby red panda?
Oh, yeah.
That's adorable.
Yep.
So, you got to be kidding me.
Yep. I love it. It's another good dad joke.
Yeah.
So.
Help us all. This is good. I just like looking at this page, by the way.
Yeah.
And what I like about this is everything should be connected. We should be able to like update those watermarks if we want to. Should we test this like maybe on your phone?
Yeah. I think we should do that.
Okay.
And then that always helps too, because I think when you see it on your phone, you realize like things might be way too big or way too small. Or if I look at it on my phone, I might pull up another website and then compare, because it's like right in front of you.
Okay.
So yeah, let's do that.
So we'll start to get set up. Can you unlock it?
Yes.
And then I'll just go through all your personal stuff.
Yes, sounds good. Oh yeah, see, I already see some things I want to change.
And even just kind of do a quick recap, just so you know what's going on. We're going to use this. We have right here. This is the Adobe XD app. We have it connected via USB to her laptop. All right. And then all you do is you just hit play,
Yep.
right, as you hit the preview button in the upper right. That's all you, actually, no, I take that back. You
Yeah,
can
you
hit
don't
play
even-
there, but like right up in the upper, right next to it. There, click on that. So it says that she's connected to her
I
iPhone.
see. Yep.
So that's how we're able to see this content on the phone. And let's just like open up QuickTime for everybody to see that if it's still up in the background.
It always closes. So we're gonna do the new movie recording.
Yeah. So we're only doing this QuickTime thing just so everybody can see her screen. Oh, look at that. So again,
Yes.
that's actually what's right here. Like I'll scroll it, by the way. Yeah, perfect. Like I'll scroll it, right? That's my finger on the phone.
Yep, right here.
Yeah. So hopefully everybody kind of catches a vision for what we're doing right now.
Yeah, it makes it easier for us. And this is great too. So what I really love is that I can actually move things around on my actual computer, and it shows up on my phone, as we can see here. So if you wanted to, like, you know, change some things around, change the spacing, which really helps. We talked a little bit about like viewport, and I think when you're working on the phone, it helps a lot to see that. So
No, this is
it's really
good.
nifty.
And just even looking at it on the device, I feel like that text is like spot on. Feels really good.
You're not too overwhelming.
Kind of right here, to be honest with you, like you get into like a lot of info, and maybe that's okay.
Yeah, he has a lot more content.
And that's also what you're talking about breaking up, right?
Yeah,
Or
yeah. I was
maybe-
thinking of putting in some more of the peak times. And then here's our visitor recommendation section that we have further down.
Oh, and then one more thing. This is another really cool thing. So now that this is it's actually cached on here now, so we can actually unplug it,
Yep.
right? And we can take this with us wherever we want. Like I could take this to my boss or the other art director, but this
Yep.
is now cached on here. And if there were more pages, and maybe that's what we need to do is like, even if we make a secondary page, we can start to link that together. So we do a
Yeah.
little bit of prototyping.
Yes, let's
like
do
you can
that.
even like duplicate that page.
Because I'm almost thinking, like, I think we can, from this page where it talks about grizzly bears, talks about, I think I had their range, but we can change that to be more about, you know, see the difference. Or learn more. Let's go right, learn more. But let's take from this page here, and let's connect to them.
Oh, can I show something?
Yes.
Can we do this? So for that button, by the
Yes.
way, because I noticed you're kind of changing some of this
I am.
text.
Yes.
Take the text and the button, like the box and the text, and make it an asset, a symbol down at the bottom.
Ah,
So
it
so
is.
there it is. This is the cool thing about
Yes.
this is like we now have the button as a symbol. Drag it out from the library, like you're gonna make another version someplace else.
And there it is.
And not only that though, sure it's linked, but you could change the text
Oh,
so that the text is separate from the
Nice.
graphic. Now,
that's very nice.
what if you decide? Oh no, bring it back. Bring it
Sorry,
back.
sorry. Oh, no. What? I can't actually undo. It's weird.
Make sure you're.
Oh well, here it is. It's right there.
Okay, and then if you if you like have a copy
Yes.
and then on this other copy you decide to just say learn,
Yeah.
you can right click and say update all instances.
Oh.
So you could have it either be unique with
Yep.
unique information or, affect all of them.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, it's pretty.
That's really
fancy.
nifty. It's going to save a lot of time from doing everything manually. That's why XD is great.
Yes. Aurelia? I apologize if I'm not pronouncing your name correctly, but welcome. We have a challenge going on. That's what this little is right there. Check out the challenge tab. Make your website like we're doing, and we're going to kind of dive into maybe the prototyping stage.
Yeah, I think we're
Let's
ready
do
for
it.
it.
Yeah, let's do it.
So, works really well when you have, like, we have this as a symbol, or when you work with groups to make, like, the whole touch point. So there's this design tab, switch over to prototype. I already clicked on this button, so all you do is you click this. It actually helps a lot when you name your artboards so that you actually know which one to go to. So that's something I would recommend that I don't always do if I'm working quickly. So
Or you can point to it.
I can, yeah, which is a lot easier if you just actually.
And again, I'm glad you. Yeah, if you.
How do you do
How do you
that?
have it on? Can you click and drag? like with it selected. Click and drag on that thing, the little dot. There we go. Cool.
You don't have to worry about the names. See, I'm learning.
No,
so
but
much,
it's
right?
good because honestly, like as you get so many artboards, you can't be dragging this from
so
here
true.
clear over here.
You're right.
You just want to do the drop down.
Yep. So it's good to have both in there. So yeah, we're gonna do that.
Do you want to connect it to the mobile?
No, that doesn't make any sense, right? I'm gonna connect it to the desktop.
I'm paying attention.
You are, and we don't need to preserve the scroll position because we want
Which
it to
is
stay
a
at the
new
top.
thing. That's pretty cool,
Yeah,
by the way. So.
yeah. So that could be really nice to have, and can work on some nice easing in or easing out, and change the duration.
Okay, so
between the
this
two.
is, I'm glad this came up. So look at this. See how it says dissolve and has that little
Yes.
warning.
Exactly.
Why is that? Oh, actually, what does it give you a little?
Match artboard sizes.
Yes,
from
perfect. So what you
Okay.
need to do is you need to make sure those two artboards match in size,
Okay.
and then it will give you those transition options.
So
from
width
here,
or height.
no, the width and height doesn't matter. Well, the width is probably the same. Mm-hmm. It's going to be the height. So it's going to be this viewport height. So make sure both say
Oh.
1080.
Yep. And they don't. There it is.
Because again, it doesn't. The
The transition,
is
that makes
cool.
sense. Oh, and now, yeah, so now we have dissolve, sliding left, sliding right, pushing up. So I don't know, which one should we do? You want to do dissolve?
Yeah, sure.
Let's just do dissolve.
And then can you do it like over the course of 1 second, just so everybody can really experience the transition?
Yes.
It'll be nice.
And then you click the artboard you want to start with, has a little home.
Mm-hmm.
Then we're going to scroll down. And the nice thing is, yeah, if you click outside of it. Okay, here you go. And there it is. Just kind of unfolds.
Do you ever, anytime you add a transition, don't you feel like adding your own sound effects?
Yeah.
Like you say them in your head, you're like, swoosh.
Yeah, depending on what it is, especially like the swooshing, sliding
Yeah.
ones too.
You can't help it, but like swoosh.
Oh, yeah.
And everybody knows what you mean.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
okay, that's a swoosh thing.
I understand that. Perfect.
All right.
Yeah, so that's how that moves in. And if we're gonna stay with the same thing, we're prototyping. So here's an example of why I think it's really good to group. So I'm in the prototype. I haven't made this a symbol yet. So this is what it looks like if you don't make a symbol. You could make the text, and then you also have the rectangle, and it's not always the best. So I'm actually gonna take this text box, gonna take the button, and then I'm gonna group them. And then what that's gonna do is when I go to prototype, it's gonna be the whole thing. This works well too if you want like this entire area to be clickable.
Yeah.
So I like that a lot.
Yeah. That is good. And it's good. I know sometimes you'll have, like, what if you just had like text that you wanted to link? Sometimes what you could do is have pretty much an invisible box around it.
Yep.
And that's basically your hit area that's still grouped. It just doesn't have a stroke, but it's
Yep.
easier to touch.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, so there's that. So super simple.
Oh, Javier, can you do a fixed nav? The answer is no, not right now. But that's the #1 requested feature, and we're working on it. So might be a good time to mention. I think Talon Wadsworth's up next with Christine Lee. Talon's the design lead for Adobe XD, so he's the one that kind of like, I usually try to pry information out of him. I'm like, when is this coming? But if you're in XD and you go up to help, there's going to be give feedback. Or like feature requests and all that stuff. That's where you can see the status of all of the requests that you're asking for. All right, Alistair Holmes says this is very clean and minimalist design. I like it. That's good because you're really letting the subject matter shine here.
Yes.
You know, I noticed
Letting
like
the photos
this
speak.
is fascinating. This is what proves to me that you are a seasoned designer.
How so?
Because you have not splattered it with like a bunch of colors or fonts. Craziness.
Oh, yes.
Like it's not loaded. You're not picking
No.
There are no colors here.
No, it's
and I really appreciate
it's very
that.
simple.
Yeah.
You know, make sure that what you want, we're focusing on the images and yeah.
Ooh, I have a good idea.
Do you know what I'm gonna do? Oh no, what were you gonna suggest?
Ooh, a design thing.
Oh, okay, go for it. Yes,
So
I was gonna do a prototyping thing, but we can.
Let's do a design thing real
yes,
fast.
yes.
Just select that background box around the
this one?
grizzly bears.
Yes.
Let's actually just do this one.
Oh, that
Boop.
one. Yep.
And that should just be perfect.
Yes.
Oh, why is your undo not working?
I don't know.
Are you up on your Photoshop membership or your
Yeah.
Creative Cloud membership?
I am.
Because if you're not, we start taking away features like undo.
Is it really?
No.
Oh, okay,
it's
I was
totally
going to say,
not
wow. That's pretty,
What if-
that's pretty,
what if
got
you-
me really worried.
I'd be
what
like, you
happened?
are such a jerk, Adobe. But we're not. Well, like we would
Yep,
do that.
yep.
But that's my little, anyways. So,
Yes.
so go over to background blur.
Oh, yeah,
And
we're
then-
going to do that again. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, just to kind of show
let's
people.
show this, because this is really cool. And I actually do think I move this around. I think we can actually do so you can change the blur
Yeah.
here, and
And you can make it like brighter.
yeah, so
Like-
this actually looks
And it
really
might,
nice.
yeah, oh yeah, it actually does look good
Right
with that blur.
there.
Yeah.
So you still want to read the text. I might make it a little bit brighter so we have enough contrast. But yeah, I love that. That looks really good.
Does look really
I like that
I
a
do
lot.
too. Yeah, and how would you do this in Photoshop?
You can't. Not
I mean,
easily.
you'd have to do
could.
it. You could do it, but it.
Not
but the
that easily. Like, look at
No.
all of this too. And yeah, this is super nice.
So
I like how easy that is to use.
background blur
I love it.
looks pretty good.
Yeah. So I guess, we talked a little bit with prototyping. You can do the fixed position. So I was thinking a really good example we could show is like, let's see how this gallery could work. Like if you go
Oh,
to the next
interesting.
image, because you're going to want it to stay as a fixed position.
Yeah, that's
between
true.
the two. So do we
Yeah.
want to try that?
Yeah.
So let's pull in another photo from here of a grizzly bear. Let's see.
Oh, Anna! Happy birthday to Anna.
Oh,
She turned 21 last night.
That's exciting.
At least last night for us. So that is interesting. Hopefully you had a wonderful birthday. So, Andre, the best workflow from Photoshop to animate to IDE. What's IDE? Like ID would be InDesign.
In design, maybe that's.
I feel like I should know that, but I don't. Either way, so you can open up PSDs in Animate, but I think it's a file import. Just like you can in XD, it's just a file open, and you can open up PSDs.
So I have these two artboards, just duplicated them, switched out the photos.
So good.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Technically, this should be a winter photo, but we're just for the sake of this, we're just gonna pretend that it's gonna work great.
We'll bear with you, as
And we're
we've
gonna
been saying.
connect these two. So I made this a group so we could see the arrow, and we're gonna stick with preserve scroll position.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think what
It's going to
do-
transition
it's gonna
everything. So the
transition
dissolve
everything.
is perfect.
Yes, so this is gonna work really well. So then we're going to, select this, hit the play button, and then scroll down. And there it is.
Nice.
And then we're gonna wanna go back. So it's gonna be nice to have this back button be functional. Do the exact same thing. Click and drag it from here to here.
Preserve.
Just make sure everything is good. And then we can start on this one. And scroll down. And there it is.
And
So you can just bounce between the two.
You'll do
Seamless
this
and beautiful.
like for 45 minutes. You just like
Yeah,
click
probably.
back.
It's nice. And I feel like I do that even sometimes when I'm like trying to figure out like how long do I want this transition to be? Is 1 second too? And you like go back and you look at it like a million times. So
I think
Really nice.
a really good transition. I don't know if I'd necessarily do an ease in. I would do an ease out.
yep.
Because if you click a button, you don't want it to start off slow because people are like, did it work? And they'll hit it a couple times.
Exactly.
But if an ease out means it's going to start fast and then slow down.
Exactly. Kind of eases you in.
Yeah, ease in, like
Ease out
you
though.
out.
So that's yep.
Slow down
Move
as
around.
it goes to that destination.
Exactly. So yeah, really nice features to be able to just do that.
And just to recap, hopefully everybody saw that. I
Ooh.
think I saw something like, how did you do that again? Somebody was asking. But
Okay.
and I think they were talking about also like the blur. Just to
Okay.
point that. Just select
Yeah.
it and show it to them. By the way, this is one thing that might kind of throw you off because you have the design tab and then you have the prototype tab. So just be aware of that. If you don't see your properties panel, you're probably in the prototype tab.
A little differently. But yeah, for the blur, all it is a There's a check mark when you select it. And then you can play around. This one changes how much the background blurs. So if you want it to be like super
that even
blurry,
looks really good.
Yeah,
because
so
it's just picking up those colors.
Yeah, so I think it's and it's good to have it like this because then you can always read the text, which is really important, I think. So 29, I think, is what I had. I'm gonna just go a little touch darker. What it does, it helps soften it, especially when you're working with nature photos too. Like it's kind of cool to have a touch of that. Then you can change the brightness and the darkness. So maybe you are working in like a really dark palette and you want there to be a dark color, or I think, this might be a little too bright. So you just kind of like work in the middle. And then this is like how much you want it to fade in the background. So that obviously you have some contrast problems when you get to that far. So.
One thing we have not shown, and maybe I got a great idea.
I'm excited. What is it?
I think these 3 boxes are a good opportunity for a repeat grid.
Oh yes, I want to learn how to do that. I also do not. I feel like I do all these things that I could do so much easier.
And this is perfect.
This is good. I'm ready.
That's
so yeah,
why we're
let's
here.
do it.
Super easy.
Yeah.
So let's lock that down. Why does your undo not work?
I don't know. I'm really getting concerned that it doesn't. It's like a handicap. Like I feel like I always do that. Maybe I just need to like close this and open it again. I might do that.
You could save it.
Gonna
save your file,
save it.
people. And just to recommend, you have about 20 minutes
to.
You're gonna do your restart. We'll go full screen so we don't. Oh, sorry about that. We're floating.
Oh yeah, we are. Whoops.
I want to kind of switch to my screen real fast, and there we are. We're looking good. Andre is asking basically about sort of an IDE and integrated development environment. So I don't know. Basically, you're trying to look at getting things into sort of a programming environment. And again, we would probably talk more about Animate if this was like a week where we're focusing on Animate. But from Animate, you can export out different file types.
It's working.
And everything. So, sorry, I'm not much help, but essentially you can export out HTML, SVG, what's that other? Lots of different formats from Animate to bring that into an environment. But what this does is, by the way, is we're not generating any code or anything. We're just generating the graphics and then we'll output them. And I like how you're at this stage where you have basically these 3 boxes. Yes. Anytime you have something that's kind of repeating, think, okay, if you start doing, again, a duplicate a lot, think about there has to be an easier way.
Yes.
So just eliminate those 2 boxes or just, get them out. Just eliminate them. We'll bring them back in a sec.
I'll just do one of these.
Yeah, there you go. Select that and all the content, perfect. And then in the upper right, select repeat grid. And then you get those bars, drag that out.
Ooh, nice.
And then it repeats that. And your next question is, actually, what is your next question? There you go. Never mind. I don't even have to answer it.
I was going to say, yeah, that's probably... See, it's so intuitive. I've never done this before. Figured it out. So that's really, really nice. And then you can even go down, too.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool.
So from here, what you can do is you can change that text. So the content can always be different, but the style is unified. So say, for instance, what if you needed to center that ice fishing text or the bicycling text? Just move it.
Or just move it. Okay. Do I have to do it from the first one?
No. Did you break it apart already?
Maybe. Did I? Let's try it again. Did I?
Select the whole thing and make sure you have the bars on the top and the bottom. No, you broke it apart or something. Do some undos. Oh, you can't.
Oh,
there we
it
go.
is.
Okay,
good. Okay, sorry.
Now move it.
Why is it not working? Am I getting it right?
Okay, well, let's dive in and actually select this, and we'll just change the color. Okay, well, I don't know what's going on. Something's jacked up. Have you even restarted in the past day?
I did it yesterday.
Okay, thank you. Anyways, another thing you can do, and again, this could be we're also talking about sort of maybe even a rating system. Ooh. This is one example. You can think of lists where you're duplicating things, something across like this. Content's always going to be different. Style will be unified.
Yep.
Sometimes we use the example of stars, we want to have 5 stars,
yep.
brrr,
Yes.
And then you could always break it apart and make it different, but anytime you want to like duplicate something, you know, across an area a certain number of times, it's helpful.
Which is perfect.
Yeah. Oh yeah, so take that,
Yes.
put that in your challenge
it.
example.
Yeah, it's so simple.
By the way, this design is actually pretty nice.
Yeah, I like that.
The
kit looks
UI
cool.
kit
I
that
like
we're
that.
that we're giving you. Why do these have to be so good? I feel terrible. I'm like, how can I beat this? Huh, Gus? How can I beat this? It's so nice. Look at how cute that dog is. Look how they did the tint. I love it. That's the UI kit example. Swap out all those images, make it your own.
Yeah,
Make it pawtastic.
I think we're good.
Yeah, you're doing great.
So yeah, now we know how to do that, which is really nice.
Yeah. What else do we need to work on? What we could do is we could publish out a prototype with a link.
I would like to look at. Do we want to show the prototype and design specs too? Because I feel like design specs was a really cool feature. I mean, that changed how a progressive or my team is working.
Okay.
Having like design specs.
Good,
So
good. Okay, cool.
We can do the prototype.
Yeah,
Let's do
and
that.
we can, yeah, let's do it.
Cool. So yeah, you just you click on this right here. I'm trying to remember, how do you make this the? Oh no, here you do it in the prototype.
Exactly.
So you want to make it the home. You want to make sure that the one that you're sharing is this one.
And in this case, by the way, I know we've already started wiring things up. We'll have to double check this, but sometimes if you just don't wire things up, it's perfectly fine. You can still publish a prototype, and then they can use their arrow keys to go through the different designs. So you could
Nice.
show off like 5 different designs, publish out that link, say, hey boss, you can even add that comment, you know, use your arrow keys, kind of click through these different ones, add comments.
Yeah, that's great. And then they can see how you got where you got to. So then you just select this, make sure it's the home icon, go to this, right-hand side, and just do publish prototype.
Andre, can you hang out with us all the time? He says it's probably the best UI design he's seen produced live in quite some time.
Aw, that's fantastic.
Can you
Thank
just hang out with us?
I really appreciate
Will you be
that.
our friend? Will we just like put you in our pocket when we're
Yeah.
feeling bad? We're gonna pull out,
I know, that makes me
have
feel...
you say something nice.
Yeah, that makes me feel really good. Thank you.
Well, we won't let the other live streamers know it. This is our secret. But thank you. Cheers.
Thank you.
They're all good in their own way because everybody's working on a different, just tackling different problems. And again, this goes back to you being a seasoned professional, knowing you're not just picking colors randomly. Literally, you've used gray.
Yes, yeah, it's like a purplish gray.
You know,
So it's super soft.
and not that we still. There's obviously we've only been working on this like a total of a couple hours. So like,
Yeah.
there's still things that we need to do. Like if you
Yes.
spend more time on it, there's more things we do. Because even the whole idea of like Yellowstone National Park, like what other sort of phrasing and writing can we do?
Yep.
And things like that.
Or it's already bothering me. Like I have it overlapping here, but I don't have it overlapping here. Like there are little
Yeah.
inconsistencies that you see like as you're moving forward. Like maybe in the next version I won't have this overlapping, so it kind of matches over here. Or maybe it makes sense to have like this be over here and overlapping, and you move this over here. So then this feels more cohesive between there. Just little differences.
Yeah, I do like that, and I actually like the changes you made here because yesterday you had 2 smaller like photos.
Yes.
And then you nixed those.
I did. It just didn't work.
Yeah, and even somebody actually, I don't know, somebody in chat was like, "Hey, I'm not really crazy about those 2 little," and you were exactly right.
I was like, yeah, that's the art director thing. Sometimes other people see things. You call it art director or backseat designer. So I
Yeah.
always like to call it.
The thing is we get all the credit for the suggestions you do. You get to like all the.
Exactly.
I think it would be fun here, just like even as we're talking about design ideas, like even for this photo, what if the background was behind the photo, but you cut out the bear's ears so it overlapped the photo
Oh,
in
yeah.
front. I love playing with like that space.
Yes.
But again,
That'd be really cool.
we're just talking about it. Actually, we
Yeah.
have all these suggestions. This is a perfect chance to publish out a prototype.
Yes.
People can actually You can probably send that to me. I can put it in chat,
Yes,
and then
let's
people
do
can
that.
comment on it. And
So yeah,
you
we
know,
just
maybe you don't like it, and that's totally acceptable too.
yeah.
Hey, we're okay with that. You can't be a working commercial designer and not take criticism.
Seriously, yeah, you have to be ready for everything.
You do. You just be like,
Yeah.
hey, you know what?
Yep. So I just go over here to publish prototype. I have the file called wireframes. I'm just going to rename this to be 59 parts. Allow comments. You want to do
Yeah.
open and then the hotspot hints.
I would.
Do you want me to do this?
Yeah, you can turn off. Yeah, perfect.
Okay.
Perfect.
And then
yeah.
the hotspot hints is really nice too if you're giving this to someone who isn't super familiar with how the prototypes work, so they know where to click. We can kind of show how that will work. So I'm going to create this public link.
Yes, and by the way, what you're doing, you're publishing out a prototype. One of the updates that we had yesterday morning to Adobe XD is password protecting these prototypes. So that's a
So
new
great.
feature. Because if this is for an internal thing for Progressive, like
We'll be happy for that.
you have to be ready. Just like, first of all, nobody's going to find the link,
No.
but you need to be able to tell your boss. Like your
Yes.
boss is going to ask, "Hey, is this password protected?" You need to be able to say yes.
Yep. So it's a really that's a
Racine
really nice
says maybe frame the little pic. Oh, that'd be good. Like maybe like if it has a white border, even though it's
Oh,
breaking
yeah.
it, but it's
Yeah.
wrapping around.
feature. I like that. That's cool.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad we're all on the same page. So
Yep.
into it.
It's moving along. Okay. Cool. So here's where do we want to
Yeah, open link.
open the link. This is where you have options to make comments, which is really nice. Oops, it starts with one of my earlier artboards.
That's cool.
So you can kind of see the progress moving forward. So we're actually going to go.
Oh, there we go.
So then here we should be able to. This must be an earlier one.
Yeah, so you could page through just like you're doing now. It's like going through all the artboards. But I want to make sure that the buttons that we hooked up, if they should still be working.
They're not.
Did you break it?
We're having so many technical
I love it.
problems. I'm sorry. I don't know why. Because yeah, they are not linking up anymore.
Let's make sure they're still there. Oh, they're not even there.
They're not
we
even
must have
there
done.
anymore.
Did we? They're. Anyways, we don't
Anyway,
know.
we'll
fix it.
we'll figure it out. Yep. So again, we're gonna do it again,
Ooh,
right?
Tim already has. Is that the link?
Ooh,
Look at you, fancy pants.
I love it. So I'm just gonna do it again. We can see how easy it is to do this.
Yes, thank you, Tim. It is out in the wild. That is the link. And it has all of the artboards so you can see sort of your brainstorming. You see the kind of the mood board.
Yep.
You even kind of defined some colors, by the way. I'll kind of walk you through this. But you even defined some colors that we kind of, you kind of retained the right to maybe keep them or not keep them. This is from day one. This is, again, another design. And then number 4 is kind of where we landed thanks to your help. So you can feel free to kind of jump in. And I think somebody mentioned about changing some of the comments. So I can go ahead and click right up here. So you know what? Click. Let's add a comment. And I'm going to say add a white border here. Because somebody mentioned that. But I can pin that. I'm going to pin that right there.
Nice.
Boop. And that's where it appears. And we can kind of get that resolved. Sorry if you couldn't see where I was entering that in. That's right here. That's where I was entering that. All right.
Cool. Just making some small adjustments. Turns out that when I saved it, I didn't actually save it. This is good. Just running through how nice and simple this is. We're just gonna drag it from here, preserve the scroll position, drag from here. And then I guess this is also a really good opportunity to show that when you have a prototype out there, you can update it really easily. So you can publish prototype and you just update the link. So you don't have to worry about like sending out another link to someone.
Yeah, and I do that all the time because what happens to me is I send that out. Like I'm in a rush, I gotta hit the deadline. I send it out, and then you go back and look at it and you're like, I'm gonna make some tweaks.
Oh, yeah.
Or like I misspelled. Usually it's a misspelling. Like I totally look like an idiot. And then I'll sneakily like update it.
Yeah, so it's really nice just to be able to.
So. Sweet. Nathan says, what did you say? Did you say something? Just kidding. Your stomach is growling.
I'm hungry.
She's too nervous to eat or drink coffee today. She's just like, I got a job to do.
I gotta do this. I gotta stay
She's
focused.
starving.
I'm
At least
ready.
we're not talking about pancakes.
We aren't. We're all
and
good.
we're reviewing food designs
Yes.
and just get us hungry.
Yeah, hungrier. Very focused. But
You are too funny. I love it.
So yeah, open the link. And this should hopefully, oh, see, this is cool. So I was able to see the note that was made right here, you know, with or without drop shadow. So if we're here, we hit learn more. This should work now. Takes us to this page.
Check out that save. Oh, that's a Pinterest thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what's happening.
That's like my my Chrome extension that I have in here, which is super relevant for this, right? And then, yeah, if you look at the grizzly bears, we can go through, and here's where you go back before and after. You can see the different the slideshow. So it works really well. This is going to be a really good thing to be able to send to stakeholders and business and kind of get some direction on that.
This is good. And kind of diving into some of that, because if you go into, we got to make sure you might not have, to be honest with you, go into publish prototype. Well, anyways, I kind of want to show this because I don't know if we all caught this. Maybe this was on yours, but this is the new feature.
Oh, yeah.
Sort of require password.
Yep.
Okay, so select that. That's going to give you the password of I enjoy soup. I don't know why that's our password for things around here.
I love it.
But we enjoy soup. And anyways, so that's, I do need to have some numbers and letters. But that's basically how you do it. You password protect it. And by the way, when I say update, right in here, you can see your desktop app right here. Just make sure that says, update. I got to update some other things. We had a sweet Lightroom update with all these profiles and all this fun stuff. And even as you publish this out and allow comments, again, you'll be able to see it here. And we're working on a couple of things. I think this is a good chance. Is this okay that I say this? This is something where a shout out to somebody internally, but basically kind of what's coming is we're working on this Chrome extension that lets you know when we're live.
Ooh, I like that.
So notice it's flagged. It's like, oh, something's happening on Adobe Live, and you can jump right there. So that's what's coming soon.
I like it.
And also what's in your hands as of yesterday. So we have about 6 minutes. Hopefully you're getting your designs in. What else do we need to talk about? So many things.
There's so
Probably
many things.
So many things.
I guess we could, do we want to show the design specs real quick?
Oh, yes, please.
Yeah, let's do that. So you can publish the prototype over here, and then you can do publish design specs. So I'm going to just update this again and make this 59. And this is so helpful for working with developers. So I don't know if, everyone's kind of had the experience of doing red lines where you go through and you're just marking out exactly like what size this needs to be, what the spacing is. And it is time consuming and it's tedious, and there's always room for human error. So I think it really helps to be able to have this design specs tool. So you can just go in and, it will take your designs, and it's really nifty. So
yeah, and I know some people have been asking again, kind of like about that development process.
Yes,
it looks like it's ready.
It is. So yeah, we're gonna open this link. This is so exciting. So it will take all of your, here are artboards.
And as you roll over it, just roll. See?
Yeah.
It'll show how, because people have also asked for this, like you kind of want to get a site map. You can almost get that view from here.
Exactly. Yeah, you can kind of see around through here. And you can click into here. And what happens is if you click and then you hover, it'll show you the space between this element and this element, or it'll show you the height of this this photo here.
Andre Lamont, I knew he was going to like this feature, by the way.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
it is cool.
It is. It's so cool. So you can see, like, you know, from here to here.
And
that's what this
select
is.
that text, that paragraph text.
Yeah. Oh, yes. And you can copy this content, which is so good for developers too. You don't have to worry as much about retyping things, having misspelling. Shows your color and the font size. You can even change if you want it for whatever reason to be, you know, in points or, you know, in pixels. You can change the color to be in different formats. It's really simple. Really like it.
And one thing we get asked is, like, if you select a photo or any image, the next question is, like, the developers actually might want to just be able to download it.
Yes.
And that's something, like, we're working on.
That's good
It's
to
like,
know. Yeah.
it'd be nice if there's just a right-click download. So, Douchey Rocks is asking how you did this.
Ooh,
Can you
how did I do this?
show
Yes,
them
I
again
can.
in XD since it's super easy?
Yes, it is. So it's in the same areas where you publish a prototype. So it's over here, publish design specs.
And again, it says beta because, again, we're adding to it. It's available on Windows, of course, because this is actually a browser thing. But again, like, being able to download the images, we're working on that.
Then you just go here and you can update the link if you make any changes, copy it, or open it.
And then we'll kind of show them something else. Like, so what if you're using another sort of spec system or way to, you know, get these sizes of things, but we have export. Oh, let me actually show you on mine real fast. Just switching over real fast. We have, again, same process, works for me. We could use design specs. If you're using another platform, you can go over here to export, and you can export out to Avocode, which is going to give you all those measurements and size. Basically, a lot of that same stuff, and then Zeppelin.
Nice.
So there's those two extensions that are added to XD, and then there's actually 2 or 3 more. So there's more than just this, and this is something we added either last month. Actually, I think it was the month before, 2 months ago. So if you are using those, Yeah, so Nathan Galloway, hopefully you get it to Avocode level. By the way, Nathan, you could just export out to Avocode, by the way. So we could just actually literally do that and work that way. But the exciting thing about this is, like, this means that we're kind of like opening up XD to third parties like that people use. So essentially, again, I got to log in and all that stuff, but that will open it up as you'd expect. So that's it. The exciting thing is the sort of like being able to extend it for your specific work environment.
Definitely.
And done.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
We're kind of like, I feel like we're done.
Yeah,
we
no,
could obviously
we're not,
link
though.
up a lot of stuff.
Yes.
Can you show maybe how to, like, do a file export?
Yes.
And we'll kind of check out, like, how would you export out all these graphics?
Yeah. So if we want to do all these different artboards.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if
Or
we just
whatever. Let's just
let's just do the home page. Just go to File, Export. You can do all artboards or you can do selected. I just want to export these 3. You can make a new folder. I like to usually make a new folder for JPEGs. You can change the format too. So since it is, you know, some vector based, you could do like SVG or JPEG or PNG. I always find PNG to be pretty good. This is where you were talking about the design dat, right? So
yeah, so if you go to, like, iOS,
it's nice.
Because yesterday you did design
I
at
did.
twice the size.
Yep, so it was really nice just to be able to look at that and you can export it.
50 seconds. Design challenge will end in 50
Ooh.
seconds.
Excited to see them.
Yeah.
Lots of cute photos.
Let me show you something else
Yes,
too, by the
let's go
way.
for it.
So, like, you can export out all the artboards, and again, I'm not sure how you do things at Progressive, but if we take a look at, you know, any one of these items, you can do a select all and export everything out.
Or you can just do the image.
Yeah, or you can do the image as a whole. So again, export out the selected. If you do select everything and then do selected, it's going to kick out everything. I did want to show something really fast.
Yeah, let's do it.
Because kind of switching over again to This is just the UI kit. We'll see how everybody transformed this in a second. But like, say for instance, this Pawtastic, for instance, this asset right here, and I'll just group it. It's right over here, and this is called logo. Right over here, if you can take a look, I can say, hey, you know, mark this for export.
Ooh.
Mark it for batch export. Because maybe you don't want to export out everything, but you're saying, hey, this, because really I could have the logo on every single page. I really just need to export out this one. So that's what I do, is mark the specific things that I want to batch export.
Yeah.
And then that's good. Like, I can continue working. It's just like, checkbox.
Cool.
And that's what I do, sort of going along, doing all of that, and then exporting out, export batch. So
Sweet.
for anybody working with a developer. So Satya says, they're not done yet.
Oh,
Wait. I love this like morning session because your odds are like the best.
They are, because not as many people are submitting.
Yeah,
it's
not
good.
as many people
it's
are.
Good. Yeah.
It's harder though because you don't have a
is.
lot of time. You know. Hopefully you made the deadline. Ooh, so I don't know if you want to ask or answer Keith's question right there. Keith.
Yeah, so Keith asked, hey there, Adobe community, design newbie here, wanting to get more into UX, UI. Besides XD tutorials, what should I be looking at? So yeah, that's a good question.
More into UI and UX besides XD tutorials. Like, yeah. I mean, honestly, it's like, oh, shoot. Sorry. I'm going to switch over. It's going to be more along the lines of just kind of keeping tabs on, like following people like you is what I would do.
Yeah.
And it kind of falls into different categories of like trends and inspiration.
Exactly.
Because it sounds like you already kind of have a handle on the how-to stuff. But it's kind of getting inspired and joining us and seeing people work is kind of my...
And learning the fundamentals too, like starting at like the really basic level of like knowing like grids and like typography and like starting from like the core stuff, and then also like taking in the inspiration and the trends. Like I think it's always kind of like making sure you understand like the base level of that. So, you know, there's some, you know, reading up on that, reading Medium articles, and then looking
even
at
on
portfolios
Behance, because
on
again,
Behance,
you're featured in an XD, each featured for XD on Behance. So you're gonna kind of check those out, and I think it's just good to kind of like even. Because the next step is like, I'm learning this stuff, I'm getting inspired, how do I apply it? And that's why we, of course, have the challenges, which we'll review those in a second. But even I think it's always fun when you see a redesign.
Yes.
Like a redesign of Instagram.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, new, fresh perspective.
Yeah, that's
nice.
it's really fun. And again, it could be total like fake project. Doesn't matter. But it's just a good... I think it's kind of fun to kind of see that.
Definitely.
But thank you, Enes and Sherry, Pedro, Surya, John, Felicia, got your entries in. We'll be reviewing those in a second. So.
Cool.
Yeah, David says, first time you watched these videos, there was like 256 viewers. Now there's like over 1,800.
Wow.
Who's talking? Stop telling people about this. It's supposed to be our secret. We don't want other people to know about it. And somebody's talking. Knock it. No, actually, we do want you to share this with your friends and family and everyone. And by the way, these are also being like recorded or available on demand on YouTube. So YouTube, Creative Cloud channel. So you can watch yours from yesterday if you want to catch up and all that good stuff. So good stuff. Anything else you want to talk about as we're full screen? Any other questions coming in? I'm just setting up the...
Yeah, setting up in here. Oh, the UI kit export. I'll play around with that. Cool. Yeah.
Ooh.
That's interesting.
So Enes, by the way, I wanted to talk about tomorrow's challenge. There actually is not a challenge tomorrow.
It's a portfolio review, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's something new. Should be really fun to try that out.
So I think it's, I don't know, maybe the third week or so that we've done this, but, you know, I think it's super fun. So it's a chance to kind of like, again, update your Behance portfolio. So add projects to your profile. You're going to send that through. So instead of it saying challenge there, I think it says something else. But basically where that tab is, that's where you're going to submit your portfolio through a link we provide there. So get everything cleaned up today. And hopefully we'll get a chance to really spend some quality time on your portfolio. And by the way, we're not going to pick the best of the best. It's not going to be one of those things. It's going to be like, doesn't matter. We just want to know that, I would want to know that you spent time filling out your profile, knowing if you're like a beginner, if you're just out of school, or if you're advanced. And then we'll go from there. So that will be good. Today's fun, by the way. We got social pet apps.
We're going to see all these really, really adorable pet photos.
Let's get adorable now. Let's dive into these adorable.
Nice illustration.
So, Enes, by the way, is going to take a look. Full screen. Again, the goal was we need to have 3 screens. It's a pet social app. It's going to be web, so we're going to get these larger experiences. Perfect.
Nice.
We treat your dogs like no one else. Let's dive into register. Let's create your account. Adorable.
I know, these are adorable.
Sweet. Resend email. Ooh, this is very.
I do. I like the error message below there too.
Yeah.
Or informational message more.
This is good. So these are, and I'm just kind of tabbing through the screens now because I noticed you have 8. I kind of hit a roadblock like once I got into this. Entered that in. Let's move on. Yeah, so I think Enes is still working on this, but this is really good, and I think we're immediately impressed.
Definitely.
You know?
I do. I really like it. And again, like, focusing on really simple colors for the type. Like, it's just
so
black,
clean.
you know? It's so clean.
Good
It
color
looks,
choice here,
yeah,
too.
I love it. It's so soft.
Yeah, you could have picked a white, obviously wouldn't show it. You could have picked the darker colors, but that's going to make it too loud.
Yep.
And great use of space. And you're obviously a really good designer. Pup Cupid.
Oh, that's cute. I love that.
It's nice scrolling through.
It's really sweet. I love the photos.
This is good.
I do really like that.
Look at how they use the soft, this blue.
I like the soft rounded corners. It works really well with like the rounded buttons too.
And if this is yours, this is Pup Cupid. Just let us know in chat if you're watching if this is yours. Otherwise, we're just going to call this number and ask you your name. But let's dive into this so we can go into, like, say, sign up. Let's create your account. Great photo.
Yeah, that is a really nice
and
photo.
And see how the dog, they could have flipped it or whatever, but the dog's like almost like looking at the logo, like looking into the page.
Exactly. It's always good. They're kind of like leading your eye over.
It's total leading your eye. Notice how this is not perfectly centered.
Yes.
Which is good.
It is.
It's almost the golden ratio.
Yeah.
I bet you this is really close to the golden ratio. So signing up. Tell us a bit about yourself, gladly. Tell us about your breed, and let's make sure we covered all the screens. So, great job. If this is yours, Pup Cupid. Oh, it's Sherry Richardson. Sherry. Oh, golf clap.
Yes.
Great job. Pawtastic. So I think actually the template might be right at that golden ratio, but it's good that people didn't mess with it.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, let's sign up. Looking good.
I love the furry or scaly.
Yeah,
too,
this is really
which
great.
is what we were talking about. Furry, feathery, or scaly.
Good job.
Cool.
So,
I like that.
if this Pawtastic is yours, let's make sure we serve your area. Great. Yeah, that was good. Again, we said 3 screens. You did 4. These colors and everything looks pretty good, huh?
Yeah, I like the navigation moving through too, like on the left-hand side. That's nice.
I like these like sort of opportunities to like sell what you're like. Why am I doing all this work? Oh, this is why I'm doing all this work.
Yeah, yeah.
So good job.
Ooh,
Let's go into pet play.
this one feels very sophisticated.
Oh, dramatic.
It is.
Oh, this is for the dogs of Instagram.
I was going to say, yeah, it feels very elite.
Yeah.
Like these
Like,
are
I
like
don't
very
know.
fancy. I think you're right though. Like the Instagram dog. This is how they.
The dogs of Instagram.
They have to have a certain number of followers. Oh, wow. Beautiful.
So good.
I do really like that.
The only thing kind of, I don't know, what do you think about this is like we have this widow here, little.
Yeah, I think it would probably be better to move pet 2 on the bottom.
Yeah, so put 2 down on the second
or
line.
even, just break
Or
it up
is
a
it-
little bit.
But I still like that it's a nice, I was going to say, oh, is it on one line? But I'm glad
No.
it's not on one line.
Yes, I do, because it kind of like plays up the logo too. Because I think like
Yes.
the logo has 2 lines, so it's good that it does break up to that.
Good layout. Let's go into playgrounds.
Oh, that's cool.
Sweet. And this is a case where, again, you can add some more screens to this because we'd love to be able to like click on some of this stuff. I think this one is clickable. You can go to the Pitbull
wow.
Play Arena. Let's join that arena.
Oh, that was cool though. That was a different transition.
Yeah.
I liked that.
Might have been a push. Let's pay with PayPal. Proceed. Thanks for booking. All right.
Cool.
Play date.
Yeah.
You're exactly right. Like Simon agrees, like this sort of mono look and, you know, this is so clean.
It is. Feels like a family too. Like everything feels very cohesive.
Yeah. It's really
It's
good.
nice.
Okay, we have Pet
Aw.
Social.
Oh, and there's the blur in the background that we had talked about.
that?
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, I like that.
Because if this was a white box, it would be too dominant.
It would.
It would just be slapping you in the face. Especially with this font so big. Like, I think this is a good font choice because it's interesting. And I think when you go large for headline text, obviously, you're going to, you know, make it more unique. Let's scroll down.
Very cool.
Let's call up that number. Adorable.
Those are really sweet.
I'm scratching him on his,
I
on
know.
his head.
They're so cute.
So cute. Oh, and this is clickable. So let's kind of go up here. Let's grab my leash. Let's play.
Ooh,
Copywriter in the house.
I like that. Oh.
There we go. Good color scheme. I'm glad people are switching up the color scheme. This is a color scheme I have not seen in a million. Like I haven't
It's
seen
very
in a million-
unique. Yeah,
It's totally unique. And I like it.
I do too.
It almost has like obviously like an earthy, but it still feels fresh.
Yeah, yeah,
with
it does.
The green.
Yeah. One thing I would notice is like with the female and
Yep.
yes,
Yes.
it's a little hard to read. Like the contrast isn't quite there. You want to make sure it's accessible, so probably switch it out to make it white. I
Exactly.
think that would just solve that problem.
100%. And it looks like it needs to be centered a little bit.
Yeah. But cool.
But yeah, great job. Ooh,
Oh,
this
wow.
is nice.
This is very nice.
Schedule play date. Lots going on here. Let's go on that. Let's do that.
Oh,
Find a great playmate for Roxy. Next. Search results. Oh, let's pick one of them. Let's schedule that. Roxy's going to be playing with Snuggly Bear, the Golden Retriever. Oh, yeah. So Simon Blackmore, yeah, you would call that probably like a chocolate mint.
oh
And
yes.
that doesn't make sense.
That's perfect.
And I'm just going to reference back to this because like these were all the screens that everybody was given. You do have quite a few to choose from. So, and that's why I'm glad we're like not giving you a lot of busy work, but definitely they're making it their own. They're making it chocolate mint.
Yes.
They're adding their own filters on these photos. So again, super cool. And let's go back into, XD. Sorry. Here. There we are. That was full screen. That's why I had a problem with it. All right, so good job. We have one more to review, and then I'll just double check.
Oh,
It's almost,
that's brilliant.
it's almost, is there a word for when like maybe a dog is kind of acting like a human? I feel like
Yeah.
there should be like a term for that. But that's what's happening here. Pet wed. Wow, Felicia, things are getting serious. Pet wed. Whoa, I'm just
Yeah.
looking for a date.
I know. I was
I'm
gonna
like,
say,
I'm not
this
ready
is,
for.
This is like serious. Like they're taking this very seriously.
And they are in love.
Yeah,
Like,
they are.
You could tell already.
look at
It is a
that.
match made in heaven.
They're
there.
adorable.
Felicia, I love it.
I do like that.
Get matched today. Find one in your area? Hey. In Winter Park. Let's create our account. And maybe like this right here, probably like center that or something. Oh, sorry, you're not quite seeing that on the stream, but there you go.
Oh yeah. There's
Yeah.
a lot of empty space. Maybe like if you wanted the button to be bigger, put an arrow in there. But having that empty space just doesn't quite
Yeah.
feel right.
And maybe you think about going all caps. I don't know. I really like this. I like this. This is nice and elegant.
I like that too.
This looks really good. So maybe make the other one match.
Mm-hmm.
We can go back. We can sign up. Yes. Set up an arranged marriage for your pet.
So funny.
Cool. And let's make sure we have all of these screens. Yes. Good job. You only need 3. You did 4.
Fantastic. Sweet.
Made for each other.
Yes.
I love it. So, pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
I'm just going to kind of
good,
double check that we have everything and all that good stuff. And it looks like we do.
Oh, it seems like we got the word for, I do not know,
Anthropomorphic?
Promorphic.
Oh, that's like where
Okay.
anything is like...
People project
people?
human. Okay, interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, there's the name. Learn something new.
Learn something new every day. So let's dive into these. I think we have, I just did a double check. I think we have them all covered.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't be happier with this makes our job really hard,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah, there's a lot of variety too. I think everyone took a really unique approach.
Mm-hmm.
So that was cool.
Kind of walking back through these.
Mm-hmm.
9 screens, I can kind of click through them.
Mm-hmm.
We love the chocolate mint.
Yes, the chocolate mint is nice.
Let's go to the next one.
Mm-hmm.
Pet play.
This one is very classy.
Yeah, let's go back to the beginning. Super classy.
Yeah, I do. I really like this one. Again, everything is very easy to read. I think with all the overlays too, like even here, just the contrast is really good.
Mm-hmm.
Something I always look for. Not a huge fan of the red on the black. It's a little hard to read, but I mean it's lovely. Maybe I think red would be nice if it was on the white that we saw in the backgrounds. So. But.
Yeah, I think you are right. I think red is kind of tough to read on a black. It's easier to read on my screen because it's actually going through like a video process as everybody watches the live stream. It looks pretty good, but I agree with you.
Yeah, but I mean this is super clean.
In fact, let's view on black. This might be how we meant to view it.
Yeah, really like
Great,
that.
great use of photos. Like it seems like almost the photos drove the design.
Yeah. Yes, definitely.
Which totally works. So pet play. Fantastic. Let's go to the first screen. Kind of dive into these. Super clean. Very nice. Nice. Good stuff. Pup Cupid. Again, good use of, let's go start at the beginning, sorry. Again, longer page. I think we really like these. By the way, I don't know if that's coming through, but this is a nice, has a nice soft tint to it.
Yeah,
Just
I like the
makes
color blocking on this.
Yeah, makes it feel pretty warm. So, schedule play date. Great photo.
I love that, yeah.
This one, kind of tracking your progress. Yeah. Good job, Pup Cupid. Always, we want to know your favorite in chat. If you could tell us, Simon, Sadia, do you like which? And again, like, hey, you know, sort of like promote yours. If you did one of these, like, we want to hear, be like, hey, pick mine because mine is awesome.
Exactly. This one was really. I love the illustrations in this one.
Now, I'm not going to say to do this, but essentially, any one of even NS was like, oh, I'm not quite done. Like, technically, you could always update that link on the sly.
It's true.
But don't.
Yes, don't do that.
But at the same time, like, we might not notice. Is that wrong? What I'm saying is work the system. Shame
If you're
on
smart
you.
about it.
As intended.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's a real life scenario.
It is. Like,
That's
after you send the link and you need to make a quick change.
Yes.
Do it all.
That's Talon Wadsworth. He's up next with Christine Lee right over there. They'll be joining us in about 25 minutes. So the color scheme here, I think they did a great job of, you know, picking
Yeah, it's nice.
good colors. I don't think they swapped out this image, but that's okay.
Yep.
Again, should have hit update link.
Yeah, exactly.
Missed opportunity.
Yeah. Very cool.
So
Yeah, it's like
we got a shout out for Pet Social. Is that what I hear? So Hector said Pet Social. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Nice and clean. And again, this is an illustration look, which really works out well.
It does. I think they're totally different audiences. I think I'm really between Pet Social and I think was it Pet Play?
Yeah, let's
other one
I'll
is-
kind of click through. We'll get like our top 3.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll try to bring up a screen that represents each one pretty well.
Mm-hmm. These are all very good.
Yeah, Pet Play is pretty strong.
Yeah. Again, just like totally different audience from the other one.
Let's take a look at this one.
Yep.
Yeah, this is nice as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then
This one makes me
that
laugh.
it just does make me laugh. Felicia, you did a great job, but whoa, they're already like, this is an arranged marriage. We're why, like, whoa.
I know.
When you're like, we haven't even started dating yet.
I would say there were puppies in there too. So.
Like, wait a minute, what's the age of consent here? Like, so we have it narrowed down to top 4. This one's pretty good. Let's kind of pick between these 3 get kind of similar.
Yeah.
And like, help me out. And let me actually let me just cross-reference this back to the UI kit. So these are the images and some of the stuff that's in here. Okay, good to know. I think it really is down to these 2.
Yeah.
It comes down to these 2. So
That's what I'm thinking.
PubCupid, great job, great use of photos. This one's pretty fantastic. Kind of seems similar to the UI kit. We're down to these 2. So
Yeah. I think
what
it's
do you
definitely.
think? We have 2 minutes left. Oh, and I'm kind of leaning toward. I love both of them, but I'm leaning toward this one.
I am too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like it. I think it was totally deviated from what the kit was like, so
Exactly.
it's really, really nice.
Yeah, I'm glad we're
How
on
the
the same
images
page.
really work, and it's good.
Okay. So, Enes, good job. I think you actually won yesterday too, by the way. So, you really you won yesterday.
Yes.
So, again, thank you for entering. Your designs are strong. We appreciate you. But today, this one definitely is stronger. Let us
Yes.
know who this is. This is Pet Play. Congratulations, Pet Play. You win.
Yay.
Valter, whoever it is, let us know who made this. I could reference the our little spreadsheet, but congratulations.
Yes.
I
Great
don't
work.
think we're cool enough to hang out with this dog. By the
No,
way.
honestly.
Like-
yeah. I think my dog would be a little
Yeah.
nervous to hang out with
I
this
know,
dog.
like you're so fancy. You're a fancy dog. So Pet Play.
Fantastic.
Enes, great job. Felicia, like everybody who entered, like not a bad design of the bunch. I
No.
feel for Christine and Talon as they kind of dive into all the entries, by the way. They're so good.
They are really
And you're
good.
going to want to adopt a dog after today's
So many cute
session.
photos.
So many cute things. So thank you so much. We're kind of winding down to our last minute. Here we are. There we are.
Sweet.
Did you have a fun time?
I did. It was good.
What's this? Can you give us a little quick preview because we're down to like our last minute on like what like our thoughts for tomorrow? Like why should we tune in?
Yeah, so we're kind of thinking like, we worked on this mobile and like, desktop website, and this is more of like when you're in the planning stage, but we had talked about how it'd be nice to have like an app where once you are at the national park, it could kind of be like a companion app for you. So that's kind of what we're going to dive into tomorrow.
Yeah, and tapping into all the capabilities of a mobile device. So geolocation,
Yeah.
like all that stuff. Like, oh no, little notification. Oh no, there's a bear right behind you.
Exactly.
Not really,
No,
but
but
we
things
hope
like
that's not
that.
the case. Remember, bring that bear spray.
Yes. Important.
Hashtag Savage. That's
Yes.
its name. Savage. Thank you so much, Martha.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Laura and Sherry and Sadia and everyone who's joining us today. We got a full day as well. So Christine Lee with Talon Wadsworth is up next. So this is going to be super fun. They're over there. They're getting their stretch. They're doing some yoga. So join them and Ravani and Selena. So hang out with us all day today. Thanks so much, everyone.
Awesome. Thank you.